So 2 guys in wheelchairs on their off-road hand cycles stuck in the middle of the Poudre River, and the water was flowing over the top of the bike. You couldn't even see the bike anymore. It was completely gone. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I was like hooked from then on.
The mission of the Adaptive Sports Center is pretty straightforward. We use high adventure activities to improve things like self-efficacy, self-confidence, access to the outdoors, independence.
Oh my God, I just loved it.
Yeah?
I love living in Crested Butte, and I'm glad I've got a place for 4 years, but if I could live in the winters on the road, that would be so nice. Well, I've always been a bit of an outdoors person.
You strike me as slightly more of a vagabond than to sit for 4 years anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, my mother rolls over in her grave.
Everything we do is what mainstream populations would want to do when they come to the mountains, but we just serve a different clientele.
Here's the start of the trail over here. It's harder than I thought. But, so what's hard? I mean, where in my operating instructions did it say life was easy? I missed that page.
You know, before my accident, I was a rock climber and a backcountry enthusiast. It's all I wanted to do. So after my accident, I wasn't really interested in trying to pursue that anymore. And so the off-road hand cycling thing kind of took over my life. I like doing trails that I know that I potentially can't do and see if I can figure out a way of getting them done.
It's funny because one of the most common things I hear from people is, you lost your leg, how are you able to stay so positive and optimistic? And it's partially just being outdoors, but it's partially just knowing that there's people there to help you through any of that.
When you go out and do something that you didn't think you could, or something that's extra challenging, and you have a success or a failure, but in a really cool way, there's a lot of takeaways from that.
Up we go. Each little hill is a mountain. I've always been pretty much a positive person. I've always been, a go for it type person. Nothing is going to change my having one leg. So I choose to be happy and joyful and figure it out, and, so it's hard. There's a lot to think about because I have to think about where each of these crutches go and where my leg goes, and then where my prosthesis goes. I can't just randomly wander.
We offer about 21 different types of outdoor adventure activities. Everything from skiing to mountain biking to river-based, rock climbing, ice climbing, Nordic skiing.
It's not even about getting gnarly on the trails. It's about the camaraderie. It's about hanging out with other folks with disabilities and talking to them and figuring out how they cope with life and the things they're going through, and try and help them and they help you. And I don't think without the support of Adaptive, I don't think I would be in the same position in life as I am right now.
Whatever it is going to take you to get moving, however you want, whatever speed, whatever comfort level, they're going to figure it out and help you do that. And then it's kind of hard to be in a bad mood at all when you're in a place like this doing that kind of stuff with people who are that supportive.
One of the coolest things is to have someone identify themselves as, instead of I'm a person with a disability, or I'm a wheelchair user, like I'm a biker, I'm a climber, I'm a skier. Like, those are powerful identities to have for people, and that's what we're here to do. If you come here and adventure through the mountains, and you go back and you have to navigate the subway system at home, it might not seem as daunting. So it could be something as simple as that, but I think it's usually something much bigger.
Tyler, did you ever do the whole Ruby range?
I did. We did 8 peaks in one day.
She's probably too humble to admit it, but she's a big mentor to a lot of us, especially the young women trying to get into the outdoors. And, that's even without the prosthetic. Just what Tally's done in her life before that, and even now with this, even more, a huge mentor to all of us.
Thank you.
getting out into nature, into the peace and quiet, and just sitting somewhere where the only noise you're going to hear is the leaves rustling and maybe some animals and the occasional hiker is just, it's so good for the soul.
I feel the love of the outdoors. I feel accepted. I feel part of nature. I don't feel like I have to do anything to prove myself. It's just, I'm part of it. It's a very loving feeling that I get from trees and mountains and rivers and everything. I just, best day ever!
Ooh.